I had a moment that could actually be in a movie. I didn't have any hair. I had just had my amputation, and I was wheeling myself, had my bag in my lap, from my room down. My wife, my fiance, was going to pick me up. And I got to the entrance of the hospital, between the sliding doors and the revolving door, and somebody said, "It gets easier." And I looked over, and there was a guy with one leg. He had a prosthetic on, and he stood up, and he said, "It gets easier." And then he walked out and walked onto the bus that had just pulled up and drove away, and I never saw him again. And it does. It gets easier. It's not easy, but it gets easier. But
it does get easier. I wake up every morning, I'm still an amputee, it hasn't grown back, but it gets easier. And I won't say every day I learn something new and how to overcome something, but every day I do what I have to do to get through the day.
I'm amazed at the number of things that I encounter that I say, oh, this is two-handed. And then having to figure out, you know, if it's something that I'm going to find a way to do that myself, or if I'm going to ask for help. But I think when I look back at my experience, I think the fact that somehow inherently I gave myself permission to be in control of what I added back when. What was I going to put a priority on, and how was I going to do it? And I mean, I didn't really work on one-hand keyboarding on a computer for almost 5 months after. It's not that I didn't use it, it's just that I didn't focus on it, and so it wasn't going to be something that was going to be easy for me. But to have the belief that with patience and persistence that I could do the things that I wanted to do, and to find a way of feeling that I was in charge, that I was in control of how those things were going to come back into my life or be a part of my life.
And I agree with that completely, and one of the things that was critical to me right away was one-handed keyboard to get back to work immediately. And my employer got me a left-handed keyboard, and I still use a left-handed keyboard, and I get the job done every day. And so, yeah, what you bring back, you know, yeah, you're in control of it, and you decide.
And what you two just mentioned a minute ago is very important. When you lose a limb, you're no less of a person, physically a little bit, but that doesn't change who you are. Doesn't make anybody better than you. You don't have to swallow your pride, but you might need to ask for help. And that's something, if I know right away that I won't be able to carry something, people are willing to help because they know. That's one of those things you see in the movies. People, I could do it myself. I don't need your help. But sometimes you do, and that's not a bad thing.
Well, again, it's been just a joy to hear all of your stories. I can only imagine how comforting it's going to be and inspiring it's going to be to people as they hear this going forward. You each have come a long way and through all types of different trajectories, but you've reached a point where it sounds like life is good.
And I certainly agree. I don't know that I ever could have imagined that my life would be as similar as it was before losing my hand, but everything is different because it's informed by the experience that I had in losing a limb.
But it's a full life afterwards. It's changed.
Absolutely.
But it's full of the things that are most critical to you, being a grandmother as an example, doing your yoga. You can still do that. The illness and the treatment hasn't taken away those most essential parts of who you are.
Everything's different, but everything's the same.
Exactly.
Okay, well, thank you guys for coming and sharing that.
It's the same, but we approach certain things a little different.